kiss for you.
Okay, hey, so today we're going to be talking about, for a little bit of a different video, we're going to be talking about the most over-engineered products of all time. Basically, what it means by over-engineered is products that I believe are too complex, too much going on with them, or in this case, too reliant on technology. So a bunch of these products are like things that you say, oh, why does this need to rely on the internet? Why does this need to be so complicated and over-created, right? So first thing we want to talk about is Google's self-driving cars. So if you didn't know, Google has its own company called Waymo, and Waymo is a self-driving car service. Right here, as you can see, it's like a taxi service that has a special car, goes through all the motions, has the cameras, lidars, and has that kind of stuff. The reason this is over-engineered is because not only is it a completely autonomous vehicle, which means you're not driving it at all, which has a bunch of safety things attached to it, but it needs constant connection to a data source to be able to send all that lidar and stuff back to wherever it's going. So it began in 2009 with this like Prius looking thing, and now it's evolved to this special Jaguar, I guess, car that's going to hook up to, ping all the stuff back to it. But in order to do that, it needs Wi-Fi or some type of data connection, and when it doesn't have that data connection, it doesn't work. And unlike things like Tesla, which doesn't necessarily need a data connection for its autopilot to work because it's using stuff locally and it has the safety thing, this doesn't. So Waymo thing has all these sensors and stuff, which is great, except it doesn't actually work if it can't connect to data. So if you're not in a city, if you're in like a rural area, as a city, this is a city, so it's going to work better in here. That's where they're testing. I think they're testing it in Texas and California only at the moment. But yeah, if it gets to like widespread and you don't have an internet connection, or data, whatever, the car doesn't work. So I think that's a little bit of an over-engineered thing that requires the internet, and it might be fixable, might not be, but I just think if they're trying to sell this as a, well, what is this? Like, you can't click on anything. Anyways, yeah, if they're trying to like bill this as an important feature in autonomous vehicle driving, they're gonna have to get rid of that reliability thing, because in much places, yeah, the internet's not great. Like around here, there's a bunch of dead spots where there's no data connection for cell towers, and that's gonna be bad if this doesn't work with that. Unlike things like Uber and stuff, which are trying to do it, that don't require that. So that's basically why I'm saying Waymo for our first product is over-engineered, because it requires internet to work. Second product we're going to be looking at is the Amazon cat feeder. So if you know these, there's a couple of posts about it a while back. Basically, Amazon has these cat feeder things that are reliant on Wi-Fi. So as you can see, this one, the Pet Libro 4L Wi-Fi automatic pet feeder. If we go and click on this, we'll see pretty clearly on top of the reviews and stuff that it needs Wi-Fi to work, right? You can schedule meals and stuff, and it has feed from anywhere, right? But if you don't have internet, it doesn't work on data. If you don't have internet, it doesn't work, right? It's not able to connect. So it's a built-up battery during power outage, which is important, right? So if the power goes out, they've thought of that, because I think it has to be plugged in, doesn't it, as well? Yeah, you can set up all this stuff through the app. Support 2G Wi-Fi only. So which is interesting. So that means if you have 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which most people have, it doesn't work. Also, if you don't have a internet connection where you are, it also doesn't work, which is kind of weird. And again, yeah, they have battery backup for when the power goes out, but it doesn't not work when you have Wi-Fi, right? All this stuff like changing the profile, setting mealtime, tracking, adjusting portions, manual feeding, all that stuff doesn't work if you don't have Wi-Fi. And also, it's $100. I mean, that's not like super expensive, but it's just the fact that this device, and it's not like the only one that does that. There's like this ARF one, the feeder robot one for $250. The Pet Safe smart feeder. This is the Amazon one, I think, that also connects. Like a bunch of these that connect with Wi-Fi and only work if they're on Wi-Fi, right? Like that had a battery backup. A couple of these do not. So that's why I'm putting it under over-engineered product 2, is because it doesn't work when you don't have Wi-Fi, even though it has battery backup and these things that they thought about. This one's super impressive because it's like this, and there's an app, monitor and control from the app. Is there a thing about the unit plugged into a wall that becomes the built-in battery backup, and if it's not dispensed, you'll get notified. So like there's a lot of good features of this thing, except it doesn't, you can't really use it if you don't have the app, right? Like, frequently connect app to set your feeding schedule. You can register their purpose to be fed if it goes offline. Okay, so this one does have like a safety net thing, but Then again, it should, because it's $250 compared to the other ones. So yeah, I'd hope it has a safety net, basically. So next over-engineered product is the Amazon car rental. So similar to the Waymo thing, Amazon has a car rental service that doesn't work. Whereas, Amazon benefits of East Rent-A-Car. What was the car thing? It was definitely an Amazon thing. I'm not sure if it was a Vis or not. But yeah, basically you had a car and you needed to like connect it, similar to the Waymo thing, with an internet connection or data in order for it to work. And if it didn't, it would literally just stop. Luckily that usually doesn't happen on the highway, but in certain, again, areas more rurally, that can easily happen when you have like a dead spot and this car doesn't work if it doesn't connect to Wi-Fi, which is, again, really stupid. I know it's like has to send data back to whatever to make sure it's like correct or something, but it's still really annoying that it needs Wi-Fi, which is not like, not great. Next product. So we've gone through the self-driving car, the cat feeder, the car rental thing, the screen gym, Tonal. This is why I really wanted to make this video. I thought this was really annoying. Okay, so this is Tonal. So you know how like a normal gym has like the normal like gym stuff, right? Normal gym has normal gym things, right? Like, a treadmill, a weight system, a bench press, that kind of stuff. This is deciding, hey, we should innovate the gym by getting rid of the dumbbells and all the weights, putting a screen in front of it, getting rid of the whole bench press thing, and a bunch of the leg exercise things, and putting it into this shelf. And first thing is that you're replacing most of your gym with a screen and some weights, or bands, as they call it. That's the first, questionable thing. The second questionable thing is the fact that those bands are adjustable electronically depending on what you want to do. So if you want to have high weight, you can do that. If you want to have low weight per arm and stuff, you can do that. If you want to have certain tensions, you can do that. But they're bands, right? They're like things that spring back and forth. And so while they're kind of like dumbbells, they can't really replace all the sort of motions that you would use, like forward, backward, up and down. If you're trying to do like your shoulders or whatever, it's kind of harder to do that with these bands than it would be like a normal system, right? They're showing it's like increasing weight or whatever, and it has these like baton looking things. And they basically just show that, right? They show, hey, you can also kind of bench press with this bar thing that they have here, even though it's attached to a string. It's a neat concept, but I think if they just sold the auto-adjusting dumbbell weight things by themselves, that would be like fine. I'd be like, okay, because those are already on the market. Like if I look for smart weighted dumbbells, you can probably find them. Yeah, like they have sort of more mechanically based smart dumbbells for like a lot of money where you can just like tilt them. These are huge, but you can like tilt them and it like adjust the weight and take weights off and that kind of stuff. Those already exist, right? Like this kind of system, they extend, you can take weights off and whatever. And if Total set one of those, right, it won't be a problem. Like this kind of thing is kind of neat, but they literally paired it. Like they do this, right? Because this is their main thing. This is why you're buying this system, is for these weights. But it's only slightly better than the other weights. And the issue is if they're going to show it, which they're strategic not to show what the actual device is. So let's go to their equipment page. Yeah, there it is. See this thing? This is a screen. This is the entire device. This is like the inside of it. Let's get like a good view of, here it is. So basically it's a giant screen that you go up and you touch the thing. It has these like sidebar looking things right here on the side that are supposed to lift up and give you the bench press looking thing. And see, bench press thing, and then you can like attach like normal stuff, whatever this is, for like pull-ups, right? And everything has a digital weight. So it looks like just basically a system where here's the thing, and then you can connect a bunch of stuff like the bench press thing, this thing, dumbbell weights, that kind of stuff. And it like auto adjusts to your weight distribution thing. It's neat, right? And it's versatile, but the issue is it's $4,000, more importantly, which isn't like crazy for one of these devices. It's just, if this is the main thing that they keep advertising, this auto-adjusting weight thing, it seems like it would be much cheaper just to buy, $350 dumbbells and not this other stuff, right? You buy like the dumbbells, you buy some of these, and they'll have like weight adjustments. So you don't need this whole thing that you have to like mount to whatever, like your wall here, which seems like it's expensive. And if this screen cracks or screwed, and 24-inch integrated display with their Tonal coaches, and that's obviously their whole thing, similar to Peloton, where they have like the whole coaching system built in to challenge you, adjustable arms. You can obviously listen on Apple Music and stuff, but it just seems like a very engineered product, right? We have the handles, the smart bar, the rope system, the bench. That's probably extra. Expand the amount of movement you work with custom bench. Roller, workout mat, I guarantee. So if I look at pricing, right? Like, neat idea in a lot of cases, but just very niche use case, right? Like, it's not something that you could just say, oh yeah, I'll buy this, and it'll be like a normal thing. It's kind of like advanced. Curious to see full body strength building equipment. So you get all this. It's pretty good. Lift up 200 pounds, weight. Expert efficiency, workout, the accessories. Yes. Do you get these accessories, or what's the membership? This is for growing library workouts, plus unlimited personalization features. Specs. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, voltage, speaker system, which is good. Can I purchase if I live outside the U.S.? Tonal requires professional installation, which means you also have to pay someone on top of the purchase price to install it. Oh, it includes it. Well, that's good. And a 3-year warranty. So, like, they're doing their part of not just screwing you over. Oh, there it is. $500 for the extra accessories. So, plus interesting. Plus membership, shipping fee. So, if you want the handles, the bar, the rope, the bench, the roller, and the workout mat, that's an extra $500 right there. Else you have to, like, do it yourself, I guess. I mean, $3,000 isn't bad, especially when it includes membership is $50 a month with a minimum 12-month commitment. Will auto bill you. Okay, so that's an extra $50 a month on top of the $3,000 thing. Does include professional installment, which is nice. But yeah. So overall, I'd say it's not really worth it for a ton of people to really get this thing. Kind of seems like a waste of money. Again, if you find a use for it, that's great. But it just feels like these are one of the products that, yeah, this is horribly over-engineered. Now I want to get to the car stuff. Because the car stuff was, So this is the Ferrari SF90, right? It's their next generation, whatever car that has, like, 900 horsepower or whatever. Next Ferrari, right? And I think it's electric, I'm not sure. Or it's like a plug-in hybrid, I think it is. Now, the outside of the car looks cool, or whatever, looking at a normal Ferrari. The inside of the car is painful. So there's a screen here, which is fine. Screen here, a little big, but that's fine, right? A lot of luxury cars have that. Then there's a screen here for the controls, a screen here for that kind of stuff, and then instead of having a start button, it's this button right here, like a button, like not a button, but like a thing you just press with no tactile feedback. It's like the worst possible thing. On top of everything, like this entire thing is screen. It's like so bad. Like this is fine if you want to change like because there's no stocks, you gotta change the like high beams and the lights and stuff and windshield, I guess. That's like okay. This is absurd. This is also irritating because again, no tactile feedback, right? This is also absurd. And then they just have more screens. It just doesn't stop. The thermal unit recharges electric motors. Yeah, but like this is just really messy too. This looks like a Need for Speed like 2010 game screenshot of like bad design. Like this looks fine. And then you get to this, and it's like, oh, I don't want to ever look at... Here's a closer up of the steering wheel. You have this weird thing. You have, like, windshield. You have, I think, a physical dial, maybe, for that. And then you have this awful engine start button. This just looks like a hazard, right? Like, all these screens trying to tap everything. You slap your hand on, like... this thing. You just hit it by accident, and everything's freaking out. It just seems like a dangerous car, even though it does have 900 whatever horsepower. So yeah, that's the first one. And then similarly, the Porsche 4S is the other one. S4. Was it the S4? Whatever their like new electric car is. Electric. Yeah, they're it's like a similar thing, but I think this is worse. Yeah, here it is. So yeah, this is worse. So it's basically like once it gets into it, yeah, here it is. So it's normal screen here, it's long, right? But that's like not bad. Physical buttons, which is good. What's not good is this massive screen here, which controls all things like climate and heated seats and the radio and volume and all that stuff. This is fine, right? This is like a normal infotainment thing where it has like drive and assistance and that kind of stuff. This is fine for like checking details, and this is also fine. This is awful, right? Like, especially since it's so low, it's not like the Tesla ones where it's mounted in the middle. It's really low, so you have to like actually look down at what you're pressing because it's, button or, like capacitive stuff, which is not great, right? So if I'm like driving, right, and I have all this stuff and I look down, like I have to physically look down. Like there's no possible way you could like click on these without having a thing right there. So that's another thing that really annoyed me, was like, why would you possibly bother with something like this when other systems can do it much better, and this is the worst one because you have to look down in order to see what's happening. So I thought that was pretty annoying on the cart front. So the last couple things we're getting to is the Temi Robots. This is kind of like an interesting like assistant robot thing. I think this is pretty over-engineered because it's a $4,000 robot for seniors and for retail, pretty much specifically. So, and even in the demos and stuff, it's like not super useful. It might be useful for small assistant things, but at the price, it just doesn't really make sense to have basically like an Alexa tablet strapped to a motor that you're paying for. Because like things like the voice commands and stuff don't really work that well. So basically, yeah, it was Alexa. I was like, why does this remind me of the Alexa thing? It's because it literally has it built in. So yeah, you can talk to one of the worst virtual assistants possible on your Temi, play music, check weather. So basically, it's it's an Alexa on the screen attached to a motor that just happens to sometimes carry stuff if it's feeling like it, and it's pretty expensive. Like, I could see this being used in like a retail store, but that's like a very limited, like hospitality, retail and hospitality is like the only thing I could see this being used for. This doesn't make any sense. Retail is like, because you don't want this like following you around type of thing. I guess it could maybe replace people, like the store people, but that doesn't really make a ton of sense because it's expensive, and yes, it's less expensive than that, but you also have to charge it, so it's not like they can be walking around constantly. It doesn't have that long of a battery life, right? It's not plugged in, and so it then has to go back to its charging station, and if you have like 7 of these running around, it's kind of weird, right? Like, Temi app, once again, choose your Temi, black or white. I guess white. Personal robot, design, video-oriented, autonomous AI. It's basically an Alexa tablet strapped to a thing, and you have to contact them if you want to buy it. And it's just like, at 12-month warranty, 7 days a week support, money-back guarantee, free returns. It just, like, how long does this thing last? That's my question. What does it do? It lets you experience moving video calls, so like, a phone. Controls all your smart home devices, like, a phone would, or a Google Home or something. Lets you enjoy music and videos from any room in the house, like, a speaker would. Ultimate AI assistant, like anything else would be. Open platform, interactive games, educational garbage, like the stupid Chili's tablets. How is it controlled? It's controlled via voice commands that are awful. What is the app? It's how you do anything else. Is it safe? Probably. Can it run over children? The answer is no. Is it safe for kids? How long is the battery? Lithium lasts for 8 hours. Need to charge automatic turn to home. Okay, so that's better than I thought it would be. Can it move on carpets? Indoor surface, carpets, hardwood, tiles, adaptive motor. So it's like interesting, but it seems very limited in its like actual applications, unless you have like a couple of these just for fun, in like a retail space. So last thing I want to talk about is the Panasonic fridge. This video is 20 minutes long, Jesus Christ. Panasonic fridge, basically self-driving fridge, comes along here, follows you, basically. That's how that works. They unveiled this in like 2017. It's a fridge that when you call it, follows you, and it looks pretty disturbing. And yeah, it's using LiDAR sensors, and it's just like if I say, hey fridge, come here, and it does that. You can like go to the dining table and stuff. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, that's the last one I wanted to do. If you like this video and want to see other stuff similar like this on the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, all that stuff. I will see everyone in the next video.